Olá! Hoje vou reacionar a why does Portuguese sound like Russian? Crazy similarities between the two languages from the channel of Word Friends. So last week you might have seen it. I've made a reaction video to the video by Lang Focus, exploring a little bit the linguistic similarities between the two languages, Russian and Portuguese, and also Polish, because it sounded like Slavic languages as Polish, they said. And yeah, this is gonna be interesting because this is a video from Word Friends that they take a more informal approach to the whole question. So it's gonna be our favorite Portuguese guy with a Russian girl, probably, because most of the times it's girls in this channel. So yeah, for some reason. Okay, so yeah, let's check it out. Let's see.
I've heard 1,000 times like, oh, Portuguese sounds like a drunk Russian speaking Spanish. In Portugal we say Port.
In Russia we say Port.
Oh,
That's so similar.
I guess you can
yeah, but in Italian we say Porto, so it's still similar.
pronounce every sound because, you know, like
I'm not sure.
like jogar.
Jugar.
Wow, that's crazy.
Maybe I should learn Portuguese.
Hello.
Hello.
That's a good question. I think it definitely sounds similar.
I think some of it sounds similar, but not like the language in general, maybe?
Yeah, I'm guessing the language itself, like maybe the way you guys use certain
Yeah,
words is
I
different.
think the letters, you know, how they sound, maybe that's the similarity.
Exactly.
between them.
Like the sounds itself, I think they're different, but then I don't know why, but when you
You know,
actually
when people speak Russian or Portuguese, maybe that's why they can hear it, you know, kind of the similarity because of the sound.
It could be. I don't know, when I hear a Russian person speak, I don't automatically think, oh, this sounds like Portuguese.
Yeah, that's true, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think about it, but I can see why some people say it.
Yeah, that's true. I can also understand.
Have you heard Portuguese from Portugal?
I don't know.
I mean, I've heard Russian many times. I have a few Russian friends, so that's why.
Don't really have many friends from Portuguese. That's why I
From
didn't
Portuguese.
use it a lot, but like, you know, maybe in some programs or like interviews. Yeah, definitely, but like not in person, to be honest.
Okay.
Alphabet.
I've never heard the Russian alphabet, so I don't know how different
Really?
it is.
It's kind of long though.
It's longer?
I think it's kind of long.
Really? Okay, so the Portuguese alphabet goes like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
I'm not even sure if I can remember the whole alphabet, but A, B, V, G, D, E, J, Z, I, kratka, K, L, M, N, O, P, R, S, T, U, V.
Okay,
Something like that.
but it's short.
Juve, you see? Even Russians respect us. Okay, whatever.
Right?
I'm not sure because, you know, like I cannot actually define what is one sound and what is another letter, you know?
Ah, okay. From mine.
Yeah, that's why.
I had the same problem with your alphabet.
Because I'm like, oh, is it like the same letter or is it already another one? So,
It was my first time hearing the Russian alphabet.
oh, for me too.
There's some interesting sounds.
That's true. I was also like, it sounds like a mix of Russian and English, something like in between,
Really?
you know? I don't know why, but like I kind of have a feeling like that.
For me, yours sounded super unique. Like I've never heard this before.
I mean, maybe it's because I was kind of fast.
Can you read your alphabet just one more time?
Okay, I will just read the beginning of it, so maybe you can try to compare A, B, V, G, D, E, J, Ž, Z.
That's interesting. The J and Z.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's a very, for me, Portuguese sound because it's like closed
Português.
mouth and like you don't pronounce a big vowel.
Actually, I think like even like other countries, you know, when I ask them to try to pronounce this kind of sounds, when they don't have in their alphabets, they just can't. They're just like, I don't know how to make it sound like
Ah,
that.
really?
Can you also like maybe try your alphabet one more
Okay,
time so I can...
the beginning of our alphabet is A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Oh, K is also
Yeah.
similar because we also have...
Wow, okay.
They're actually similar.
Yeah, there's very similar sounds, very unique sounds
Yeah, that's true.
that I've never heard in any other language except for Portuguese and I guess Russian.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yes.
I also didn't heard it before.
Okay, I think the main reason for the similarities would be probably like some very niche sounds
Yeah, I
that you
think
can
so.
only find in our languages, which I didn't know that.
But I feel that most Indo-European languages have the same sounds in some extent in every language, right? Because sometimes even in Italian we have the G, there's like the G sound like like that is more soft, you know? And there's other times that there's the sound that is more hard, like G. You can say like gioco or I don't know, gomma. You see, it changes. So sometimes there's some sounds that in some words is still present. So maybe you won't notice it until you try to find the proper words that have that pronunciation. Probably, I don't know.
But I just heard like
I also didn't know like je,
z, z,
g.
That's, oh my god, that's crazy.
That's true. I didn't know it neither, like about the Portuguese as well.
I think you'll be able to pronounce Portuguese words super easily.
I'm not sure.
Like jogar.
Jogar.
Wow, that's
Jogar.
crazy.
Maybe you should try one more with my language.
Okay,
Жизнь.
жизнь.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. What did it mean though?
Jogar means play.
Wait,
Okay.
Жизнь.
Жизни. I don't know what that means. Жизни.
Жизнь.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay. What did it mean though?
Jogar means play.
Oh, okay. Mine meant life.
Can you say gostar?
Gostar.
Wow.
I don't know what it means.
It means to like.
Maybe I should learn Portuguese.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I guess you can pronounce every sound because, you know, like whenever I hear a foreigner speak Portuguese from Portugal, I really respect when someone's learning it because it's hard, but they never quite get the pronunciation very correctly.
I think in every language, when you try to learn new language, you know, the pronunciation is the biggest problem. Because when it's like too different, like, yeah, I also appreciate when people try to learn it, but I'm like, I don't think you can like actually pronounce like a native.
Yeah, like a native.
Because like in English, I don't think there are like many different sounds to pronounce.
Yeah,
That's such a false myth. I feel like English is probably the toughest language to pronounce like a native. It's a really challenging language, and there is this false myth that English is super easy to learn. Especially here in Italy, you see so many videos of people say, "Oh, English, it's easy. How can you not know English?" I mean, I've been learning English for like, I don't know. I mean, pretty much my whole life in school, but I wouldn't say that that counts because school never teaches you a language, probably. You just learn the grammatical part of the language. That's still useful for the future, you know, if you decide to just apply and try to learn it. But I feel like the last time I was about 12 years ago, I went with my friend to stay for a couple of months in Newcastle in England. And I couldn't understand anything. I couldn't communicate with people. I still remember actually, I went on a date with a girl that her parents were from Angola, and we spoke only Portuguese in that date. And I have never studied Portuguese in my whole life, but that's how bad my English was at the time. And we could still communicate to some extent because there are many similarities to between the two languages. And yeah, after that, I was like, bro, I never want to do that ever again. Like, I'm traveling to some place or I'm staying at some place and I cannot communicate with anyone. I didn't have such a great time. I mean, I met many Italians, so it was fine. I could speak pretty good Spanish at the time, so I met with many people from South America and Spain, but I didn't like that feeling, so I started to study a lot. And even after that, it's been already 12 years, and I speak probably more English than Italian on my daily life, especially making videos. And you can definitely tell that I'm not a native English speaker. That's just to show you how difficult it is, the English language. It's such I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, like, it's really difficult to pronounce English words. Some words are really challenging, whether you're speaking with a British accent or an Australian accent or an American one. I would say it's not impossible, of course, to speak like a native, but it's kind of hard, you know? It's pretty difficult to pronounce the English language. Okay, let's get back to the subject in question.
exactly.
Yeah, but like in other languages like Portuguese and Russian, I think they're like a little bit more unique, you know?
Like, I feel like for German and French, which are languages that I speak, it's not easy, but with a few years practice, especially if you have like friends from that country and you listen to it a lot, you can definitely get the pronunciation very well down.
Like almost like a native
Yeah,
speaker.
almost like a native. But Portuguese from Portugal, I've met people that have been learning it for like many years.
Yeah.
and
then, still there's
like,
something missing.
Exactly. Like if they were in Portugal and I was talking to them on the street, I would know, okay, this is a foreigner.
Oh, so like you can define them like easily, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think same for me though. I mean, like it's not really easy to.
I would say even Italian. I would definitely realize pretty fast if someone is a foreigner. But I would say that's not not really important, you know, as long as someone is able to communicate, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not really that important to have the perfect pronunciation of each word. It's fine. It's not such a big deal to me. Some people might be, but to me, it's not really. As long as you can communicate, it's fine.
Speak Russian like a native. Even when you're really, really good at it, you still can sound like, you know, even like the vowels, they're like different when like a foreigner is speaking it. So, I mean, yeah, not easy. Okay, so I also heard that Brazil, they also speak Portuguese, but it sounds more like Spanish.
Yeah, I agree, actually.
I wouldn't say that's true, right? Doesn't really sound like Spanish to Portuguese from Brazil. It sounds like Portuguese from Brazil to me. I don't know. It's kind of weird that thing. Would you say that the Portuguese from Brazil sounds like Spanish? And what Spanish? Because Spanish varies so much. Like if you go to Spain and hear the people speak Spanish, depending also on where you are. Maybe from Canary Island, it's closer to the Brazilian Portuguese, but if you listen to people speaking in Madrid, tell me how that sounds like Brazilian. Doesn't sound like that at all.
Actually, I mean, I think it's because of these very specific sounds that we just talked about. They don't have it because they pronounce everything so clearly. Like when you said gostar or jogar, they would say like jogari or gostari.
Oh, it really sounds like Spain though.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, I don't know if I'm doing it
It doesn't sound like Spanish to me at all.
right, but it's kind of like that.
I mean, you tried.
Well, I think like because you guys have this very like closed mouth pronunciation.
Yeah, right.
And we also have it. I think Brazil's Portuguese is really different in that sense.
Like the language itself is the same, but like the pronunciation is different.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the language is the same, but of course, since our country
There's not many grammatical rules, right? That they differ. Like, I don't know. You guys put like I don't know how to explain. Wait. I have the book right here actually. That I saw that like, wait. You see like this one, leite. I don't know if you can see. You see like this part, leite. It's not focusing my camera, whatever. Like the little thingy connecting two words together. That's not something they do in Brazil, from what I understood. Because I got myself before a tutor for Portuguese, and he explained to me quite some differences. He was from Mozambique and he knew all about the different linguistic between all Portuguese speaking. So that was pretty cool.
Are kind of far away. We use the same words sometimes for different things.
Oh,
some words could have different meanings.
That's also interesting though. I thought just the pronunciation is different, not like the words that you use itself.
Yeah, exactly. Since, as I said, they pronounce everything so easily and like so openly, I think that's why they sound more like Spanish.
That's interesting.
I wanna just share something that I'm gonna watch the video before, because otherwise it would be too long. Also, Spanish is the same thing, you know. If you don't speak Spanish and you come from Portugal or Brazil, know that Spanish is the same thing. The Spanish from Spain varies so much from the Spanish from Mexico, and the Spanish from Mexico varies so much from the Spanish of Argentina or the one from Chile or anyone for that matters. Actually, they say that the one from Chile is the most difficult to learn because of the way they pronounce the words. I can still understand it. It took me some time. Even the Argentinian one is actually closer to Italian because they had lots of Italian heritage. But it's pretty difficult if you haven't been there, if it's the first time you go there or you hear someone speak from there, yeah, pretty difficult.
Olá, sou Miguel, tenho 20 anos e sou do Porto, em Portugal. E
it's from Porto. Okay.
No Porto e vivi um ano na Tailândia e agora vivo aqui na Coreia do Sul.
Sounds cool. I have no
That's
idea
so
what
cool.
you said. Всем привет, меня зовут Тая, я из России, и мне 25 лет, и на данный момент я обучаюсь.
Wait, okay. Him, I understood everything. He came from Porto, he lived in Thailand, and now he's living in South Korea. Her, okay, let's try to understand some Russian.
Привет, меня зовут Тая, я из
Okay, her name is Tai. Yes.
России, и мне
She comes from Russia.
25 лет, и на данный момент.
She's 25 years old, I think.
Всем привет, меня зовут Тая, я из России, и мне 25 лет, и на данный момент я обучаюсь в Южной Корее, в университете.
Oh, I understood everything actually. She said that now she's living in South Korea and studying in the university, I think.
Sounds
Right?
similar.
I mean, when I listen to you speak, I don't think it sounds like Portuguese, but I can see why people hear it. If they don't understand both languages. Because, like you said, the end of what you said, like, the universe.
Yeah.
It's like,
You understood the part about university though.
I mean, just some
I
words.
mean,
but,
yeah,
like, it could
university.
be, because it's, I don't know. I don't want to say it sounds similar, but at the same time, I can understand it.
I think because of these sounds, because like the one that we just talked about, we actually use them a lot, like in a sentence as well, like in words. So that's why maybe because of these sounds, since you also used it kind of a lot in your sentence right now when you were introducing yourself, so maybe that's why people think that it sounds kind of similar.
How would you pronounce my country? When we say our country, we say Portugal.
We say Portugal.
And can you try
Portugalia.
to copy me? Portugal.
Portugal.
Wow, that's really good. Really, like, and many people have a lot of difficulties with this.
How do you pronounce Russia though?
Rusia.
Russia?
Rusia.
Russia. It doesn't even sound similar.
How do you pronounce Russia?
Россия.
Россия!
Ok, portanto, aqui onde nós estamos está bastante frio. A máxima para hoje são 3 graus e acho que à noite vão estar 3 graus negativos. Portanto, temos de nos agasalhar muito. Eu trouxe imensos casacos e até trouxe cascola e luva.
Wait, is it really that cold? That was 3 months ago. Okay, so in January, don't go to Korea. It's too cold.
Vocês não vos passam o frio que está lá fora.
Okay, so what did you just say?
I just talked a little bit about the weather. It's so cold and I have to wear a few jackets.
Насчет сегодняшней погоды, мне кажется, что достаточно похолодало в Корее.
Okay, wait. She speaks so fast.
Jacket.
Насчет сегодняшней погоды, мне кажется, что достаточно похолодало в Корее. Несколько дней назад шел снег, а сейчас снова по мне уже не так холодно, и на улице, наоборот, вы можете носить пальто. Поэтому рекомендую приезжать в Корею тем, кто хочет, может быть, посетить ее.
Do you
Oh my god, what the hell? Okay, I learned some Russian in the past. I learned the Cyrillic alphabet. I did half of the Asimil book because before I gave up because it was too tiring. If you don't know the Asimil book, that's the book that I just showed you. For most languages, I mean, even for Chinese, it took me like... yeah, they said that you have to finish the book in like 3 months, doing 1 lesson a day. I couldn't, because most of the times I couldn't understand it. It was so difficult for Chinese. But still, like in 6 months, 6 to 7 months, I don't actually remember, I finished the book. Russian, it took me like 7 months, and I was not even halfway through the book. It was so difficult. Oh my god. Yeah, it's such a challenging language. What she said now, she said something about the weather. I think pagoda means weather, if I'm not mistaken. And then Sivonia means today, I guess. I don't know. And then she said Korea at some point. I don't know. I didn't really understood much. So I think she said palto. That's like a jacket. We said the same thing in Italian too. So I don't know. She said probably that the weather is cold, so she wears jackets too. I don't know.
speak fast for a Russian speaker?
Yeah, I usually speak like that.
And do you think other Russian people would think that you speak fast, or do you think you speak like average?
I think it depends on the city.
Oh, really?
Because usually people from Moscow or St. Petersburg, they are used to speak like fastly. I don't know why. They sound like more fast.
Are you from one of those
I'm
cities?
from Moscow, yeah. So that's why, because like other people from like smaller cities, I don't know, like I think they're more chill, so that's why they don't really speak too fast. But people from big cities, they just like, you know, like in a rush every time, in a hurry. So that's why maybe the language itself is also like sound faster.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, because I mean, for me, like in comparing to other Russian speakers that I've heard, you speak pretty fast.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I have a friend
she
that's
did.
From Kazan.
Oh, Kazan. Oh, yeah, I know.
And he speaks very slowly when he speaks. I
Oh,
mean, not
maybe-
super slowly, but like.
Also, like, you know, it's more like warm.
Ah.
That's why maybe he just like, you know, enjoying his life or something.
I could see like some words you pronounce. I don't know which words specifically, but they sound like you're speaking.
Can anyone who knows how to speak Russian translate what she just said? I'm curious. I mean, I always thought that at some point in my life I will get back and try to learn Russian better. But for now, I have other priorities in my life, other languages that I want to improve, especially Portuguese, French, and Finnish. It's my new love, Finnish. So yeah, and that's even more challenging than Russian, I will say, especially the grammar and all that. Yes, but I love it so. But in the future, I definitely want to get back to Russian.
just like, and that could sound
Oh,
like,
okay. When you don't really like hear the
Yeah.
actual word itself, you can just like guess that. Oh, it sounds like something in Portuguese, you know?
yeah, exactly. If I didn't understand Portuguese, I could be like, okay, maybe she's speaking Portuguese. Someone who's speaking Portuguese really fast could speak like you, I think.
But for me too, like when you were talking, I think if I would hear these kind of sounds on the radio, like, oh, maybe it's Russian, but I'm not sure though.
Ah.
But when you try to, you know, listen to it more clearly, I don't think so.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
it's still like just the sounds, but I don't know, like maybe we have like similar words, but
That, yeah,
I'm not
that's
sure.
true, I guess.
I don't think so.
More impressive to
Maybe
me is
some.
really like how you can pronounce Portuguese words so well.
But actually, I also wanted to ask when Portuguese, like people from Portuguese, when they speak English, do they usually have an accent? Because you know, like Russian accent is kind of
It's a thing.
yeah, it's like a worldwide thing. But
The
like,
Russian accent.
because like you don't really have an accent, so I'm not sure if.
I think there can be an accent, but also at the same time, because Portugal is a small country, whenever we have like, let's say a movie come to Portugal, there's no real like dubbing.
Oh, there is no dubbing.
Yeah, so everything is in English and then we have subtitles in Portuguese.
Oh, that's so interesting. Because I only saw this thing in Korea as well, but in my country we always have.
Dubbing.
Yeah, we always have dubbing.
In
We
Italy
never
too.
use subtitles.
It could be certain things like that can really impact a lot because if you
Yeah,
grow up
actually,
listening to
that's
English,
true.
then you know how babies are crazy and learn like languages super easy.
Yeah, like it's really fast for them.
If you listen to English like growing up as a kid, I think you can
Yeah,
pronounce.
then probably you will have like the good pronunciation as well.
But also at the same time, I've like the older generation, they do have like a kind of like a Portuguese accent. It's similar to like the Italian accent or like the Spanish accent a little bit.
A little bit.
Like, let me see if I can do it.
Can you?
I mean, I think they say things like with a lot of intonation. They would go like, "Hello, my name is Miguel."
Yeah, like this. You know, like
okay.
put the Italian
I like
accent
that.
on the English.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of similar, but this is only like my mom speaks a little bit like this. She
Oh,
would go
okay.
like, "Hello, what's your name? Like, how are you? How are you?"
Now I see. I also think like for me too, when I hear a lot of like Russians when they
Approved.
speak English, like, most of them, I think they have like the accent, you know.
Yeah.
When you hear it, you can definitely understand. Oh,
They're Russian.
she or he's from Russia.
Yeah.
He's a Russian.
In Portuguese, we say banco.
We say banco.
Banco.
Ah, okay, not
Yeah,
bad.
that's similar.
It's pretty similar.
It's even similar with English.
How do you say again?
Banco.
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 We say banco.
Banco.
In Portugal, we say problema.
In Russia, we say problema.
Oh, really?
This one is really similar. It's almost the same.
Problema?
Problema.
Oh, it's the same.
Yeah, I know.
And like the pronunciation too.
I think so. It sounds really similar.
Wow, it's
Oh,
exactly the
I
same.
didn't know that.
Yeah, me neither. In Portugal, we say Porto.
In Russia, we say Porto.
Oh.
That's so similar. That's same, literally same.
Yeah. Wow, I've never heard like Portuguese and Russian words.
Yeah,
that
I
sound the
know.
same.
Like now, when you compare it, like you know,
Yeah,
word
yeah,
by
yeah.
word, there are a lot of similarities.
I mean, it's really shocking because like we've done this before and sometimes like the languages will have similar writing or like
Yeah,
the word
right,
can
right,
be
right.
similar, but pronunciation is never the same.
Yeah, that's true.
Because our pronunciation is just so unique, I think. But this time it's kind of crazy.
It's also kind of fun to see the cultural differences, right? The Portuguese guy is always like moving around with his hands, with his whole body, like we would do in Italy or France or Spain. And the Russian girl, she's just the whole time is speaking like she's, I don't know. It's so weird. I always notice that. Even Americans are like that. When you see the American movies, most of the times they don't have like any movement or their bodies, you know. It's so cool. I don't know. It's kind of weird when you notice it, right?
Because
When you like hear the same words and like
Yeah, the
same meaning
pronunciation is
and
the same,
yeah,
yeah.
the pronunciation as well.
I think like from the other languages that I speak, like these specific words, when I compare them to like the things we just said, I think like problem, for example, in German would be like Problem.
Oh yeah, okay. It's
In
still similar.
yeah, I mean, as I said, like it sounds similar, and like if you write it down, like it's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be so similar.
You can understand it even
can
if you
understand
don't
it.
know like the language itself, but like this
Exactly.
kind of words.
Yeah, exactly, like Problem. But at the same time, it's different pronunciation.
Yeah, that's true.
Problema and Problem is very different.
It's really different.
In Italian is problema.
Yeah, although like it can sound the same for other people, but what I found to be like very interesting is how like we sound the same, but we pronounce it the same too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's
true.
very
That's
unique.
a difference.
In Portugal, we say taxi.
In Russia, we say taxi.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Taxi.
But I can hear a little bit of like the stereotypical Russian, like
Taxi. Yeah, I think so. This one is a perfect example, like for the language itself.
yeah.
Taxi.
Yeah. In Portugal, we say photo.
In Russia, we say photo.
Oh, in Italian too,
Literally,
photo.
Like, say it the
It's the
same
same
way.
thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
There is a like like a longer word for it.
For us, it's fotografia.
Oh, photography.
Fotografia.
Okay. Yeah, it's same. This one
Yeah.
is same.
Okay, now I'm starting to get more convinced.
Yeah, for me too. Now I see why people like found the similarities between them.
New. Okay, in Portugal we say novo.
In Russia, we say novi.
Novo. Okay,
But there is a difference when we say it for like female and a male.
Yeah, for
There
us
is
too.
a difference like at the end of the sentence.
How is it the difference?
For women, novaya. For men, novi.
We have
Novaya, novi.
we have also both. We have nova and novo.
Do you have the one for like things as well?
Depends on the gender of the word.
Yeah, because we also have like there is also one version. For example, like a coat, we say novoye, novoye. Yeah,
No, it
so,
doesn't
like,
exist
There's
in,
three ways how to say this word, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same. Oh, this is also kind of similar, you know.
Yeah, and like
Really?
the way you guys distinguish.
Yeah.
I think he didn't understood right. I don't think they in Portuguese. There's only like the female and male version, right? Like in Italian, I would say that doesn't exist the neuther stuff. I think in German they do have it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
true.
know many other languages did that.
For me too, I didn't know that. But I think in French they also have a lot of,
Yeah.
like changing.
Yeah, that's true.
Ah, but it's
Okay,
still
this is something
female and
that I've
male.
heard like 1,000 times in my life.
Yeah.
I
Oh, you
think-
sound like Russian. Are you Russian? Or like,
Oh,
Really?
really? I didn't
yeah,
know
or
that.
I've heard 1,000 times like, oh, Portuguese sounds like a drunk Russian speaking Spanish.
Oh, that's so funny actually.
Really, I don't know. You guys don't get. I mean, yeah, of course, because we're the smaller country. So I think
Yeah.
because more people recognize Russian, like they say this a lot to me. Really, I've heard this so many times in my
That's so
life.
funny.
And I've never seen anyone talking about this, like why it is that people think this.
Yes,
so it was
right.
so interesting because before I actually didn't think that it sounds similar because I don't know. I understand Portuguese and I don't understand Russian.
Russian, yeah.
So
Right.
for me, it's like they're speaking a whole
Yeah,
different
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But I mean, the sounds being similar and some words being similar really makes me believe a little bit that okay, maybe other people
That's
are not
true.
making things up.
Because like for me too, I also feel like the pronunciation itself is kind of similar and the alphabet as well. But you actually talk, when you speak to someone in your language, it doesn't really sound similar to Russian. But when we talk today and like compare the words, like the same words with the same meaning and like they even sound similar, like
Yeah.
really similar. That's why I can see why some people maybe compare them.
But you've never heard this before.
I never heard this before, and also like I never was compared to Portuguese, like because like
Really?
the Russian accent, maybe there are a lot of like Russian accent in other languages because like we have like a lot of sounds that are similar to other languages as well. That's why I don't know, but from what I've heard today, it's really similar though.
I mean, it's interesting that you never heard it before when for me it's like such a big thing. Do you think it's true?
I mean, it kind of can be true because like when Russian people when they're drunk and they cannot pronounce like words properly, the pronunciation itself is not that easy.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe they can be just like, oh, I don't know, and then it kind of maybe sounds similar like Portuguese, but I'm not sure. Yeah, that
It was a
fun.
very
Today
interesting
we talked
video.
about a
Huh?
very important topic for my language, which is why Portuguese and Russian sound so similar.
If you like the video, like, subscribe, and comment down below.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
I can definitely say that we put to rest this discussion with this video, right? We nailed it down, so I'm really happy. So yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this reaction video. Let me know what should I check out next. Thank you so much for staying with me this whole time and listen to me ranting about whatever was coming through my mind. See you soon.